What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the house. My name is Joshua Connett. You guys should know me, hopefully by now. I run a couple podcasts with the boys. I'll go ahead and introduce them now. I got my partner on Talk Show U, Jacob. What is up, Jacob?
Not much. How's it going?
Pretty good. Just chilling in the room next to you. No big deal. We also have Dom, who was on last week for NFL Week 1. What is up, Dom?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Little sneak peek of our fourth bro. He's just hiding behind Dom. He'll be on the other camera.
I should have introduced the first time.
That's finally back.
Jake is back, everybody. Jake is
It's
back.
been a little bit. I'm back.
Hopefully for the rest of the season.
We definitely have to introduce Jake first next time, because if you introduce me and I pop my screen
up after.
I was wanting to introduce him last just because he wasn't on last week, so I was like, oh, that's a special one. But then I said you and I saw him. I was like, well,
there we go.
You blew it.
That's pretty funny. All right.
Below, you guys can see all of our socials: Instagram @ToTheHouseJD, Facebook To The House, YouTube JD Network, and Twitch JD Media Network. All of our shows will be live now, so you guys can go on there, comment at us, tell us questions, tell us we're wrong, tell us we're right, tell Jacob he's stupid. You guys can really just say anything on there. So
slander? So is that slander?
Yeah, I accept slander. If you don't, that's your choice, but I fully accept it.
Anyway,
Kadarius Toney, I got roasted for. So,
All right, look at this.
Anyways.
Look at this. Our affiliate, Will, is here. Hi, Will. How's it going? Will's also going live soon. I know that in his podcast. So, all right, let's get into it. Week 1 has gone by, and it has been quite a week 1, quite a week of football, that's for sure. And we're gonna talk impressions. We're gonna give our week 1 impressions. We're gonna start with the good. So let's go around and let's talk about everyone. What exceeded your expectations this week? We could talk players, we could talk a full team, whatever. What exceeded your expectations for this new season? Josh, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I'll just give you an overview of week 1 real quick. I think it started and ended amazingly. Probably one of the best endings to NFL week. Cowboys and Bucks week 1. Obviously, we had Thursday night. It slid by. Cowboys fantastically. I thought Dak really played one heck of a game, which I don't think anybody expected coming back from that injury. I don't think anybody expected him to play at an insane level, which I think he played insane week 1. So I'm super excited to see him the rest of the season. Even though I am a Giants fan, I don't want him to succeed. And then the last game of the week, obviously, you had the Ravens and Raiders going to overtime on Monday Night Football, which was one heck of a game as well to watch. So I just think a great beginning, great ending to week 1, and I couldn't have asked for a better beginning to this NFL season. So,
Jacob, what about you? Is there anything that exceeded your expectations you want to talk about?
I'd say there are 3 teams that I was really impressed by, and I'm not going to go over all of them in depth. But the Eagles, even though it was against the Falcons, I loved the Eagles. I loved how Jalen Hurts played just in general. And then the other teams that I had on here that apparently got the Texans. Now, obviously, again, it's against the Jaguars, but I don't know what I expected out of the Texans. I didn't know if I was expecting them to tank or to really come out firing. They came out firing. I don't know how the rest of the season is going to pan out for them. But those are 2 teams that I was really impressed by. And for some reason, I'm drawing a blank on that 3rd team that I was really impressed by. So let's just call it good there. But overall, a good week, yeah.
I'm sure it was the Texans, right?
The what? I did say the
Texans beat the Jaguars 37-21.
I said Texans and Eagles. And there was a 3rd team, but I cannot remember.
Probably the Packers.
Oh yeah, the Saints. And I think there's the same boat with the Texans. Is I wasn't sure how they were going to go about the season without Drew Brees and how everything would pan out for them, but they obviously came out against a really good Packers defense. So I will say, I feel like that team for sure you can give props to. And I think I kind of had hopes for Jameis Winston, and so obviously it's nice to see him do good after abysmal last season, couple of seasons in Tampa Bay. So good for him.
I will say that's definitely on my radar for exceeding expectations. Was Jameis Winston. I was so happy about that, and I think all of you guys can know, or all of you guys already know, that I really was never super high on Jameis Winston. I actually used to just straight up not like him.
Hated him.
So the fact that now he's on the Saints, fresh start, and he's quarterbacking the team. It's his. Lots changed in his career over the last 3 seasons.
So I still don't think he did that much. Like, I mean, only 20
No.
attempts.
No,
Like they
They
threw,
had touchdowns.
what they had like the boiled down offense going because they pretty much ran away with it immediately.
Yeah, that's true.
that's true. That is definitely true. But Green Bay's defense isn't bad
That's
at
what
all.
I'm saying.
You know? Just the fact that they had so much success, I think that is good. It's a great sign for Jameis Winston and the Saints. You know, it's the real first time we get to see him quarterback a team since the eye surgery. I
Yeah,
believe.
he can see
Yeah.
now. He's all
Yeah.
good.
And I really have high expectations for his season, and I did before. I know we said it. I said it on the pre-show on Sunday with Will. That I really expected a decent amount from Jameis Winston this year, and I think we get to see it. I think this is a good start. Jake, what about you? You got anything you want to talk about exceeding expectations?
My biggest exceeding takeaway isn't a team or a player, it's a coach. So, I'm the resident Eagles fan here, and I've been highly critical of them for about a year now. I loved what Coach Sirianni did all day. We went from Doug Peterson taking players and what they should be good at and putting them in positions to fail. And Sirianni comes in and takes all the players and what they're good at and does exactly that. He basically just reinvented Oklahoma's offense, and that's what we ran all day. You guys can, right? It did not look like Oklahoma's offense.
Oh, dude. Jalen Hurts is slinging it. And I think there were some pressures, a lot of pressures against Jalen Hurts that he was
It was
handling
really
really,
good.
really well.
And
Like,
I was very
honestly-
surprised.
A great performance by the team.
Expectations because it was the Falcons.
Yeah. But it's also the Eagles. In my head, I was thinking before that game, it's the Eagles. So, I mean, you can say the same.
I thought we
same thing.
were going to have at least like around 6 to 9 wins this year.
I had you guys bottom of the NFC East. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Second to bottom. That's what I had them as. Up ahead of the Giants.
Fucking course.
But like I didn't really think Jalen Hurts was a superstar. I thought he was more of he can handle an offense.
Yeah, same.
And I'm going to still reserve that for now because it was the Falcons.
It was.
But he looks super comfortable in an offense that he knows, which is leads me to believe he could be the guy.
And I don't think there's a receiving problem, which is the first time we can say that in a couple of years, right? I mean,
You didn't even see the anything from the most impressive guy during all of camp, which was Quez Watkins.
Mm.
He wasn't even in the game really at all. But like you put all the guys in positions to succeed. Like everyone has their role and they're doing it.
and defense looked good. I mean, I know it's the Falcons,
The
but
D
defense
line
did
looks
look
good again for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
Oh, it looked really good.
really good. But yeah. For me, I mean, I kind of think the same as Jacob. I mean, I was happy with Jameis Winston for sure, and the Saints. And there's Will. And I will say the Raiders. I mean, I was very happy with what the Raiders did Monday night. Can we just say that could be one of the games of the year easily? I think that's an early candidate for game of the year. That's one of the best games I've watched in a long time. Like that brought me back to the Chiefs Rams game, which really had like little to no defense in it, but they were great, whatever. But it was a great game. Everyone loved watching that game, right? That Raiders game, I mean, it was back and forth, and it just, the ending was wild. And Carr threw 435 yards, the most this week. That's a great day, 435 yards. And the Raiders had no issues receiving the ball. The guys looked good. They stepped up when they needed to step up. The defense stepped up when they needed to step up. So I definitely think the Raiders are off to a good start, and that exceeded my expectations. Even though me and Jake both picked them to win, and I thought they could win, I picked them to win. I think it was 24-27, so it was actually pretty close to that. But I did expect it to be close, but they looked good. I didn't expect 435 yards from Derek Carr. So, and depth receivers making a difference. So it was good. Other than that, I mean, I'm this was a great week one. It really was. Now, what do you guys think below expectations? Yeah, Jacob, let's hit it. I think we all agree on Packers, though.
I have
We're
one
all going to agree on
a little
Packers.
bit easy route.
That is easy route, but that was my
But
choice.
it's so true. I mean, it's so true. The Packers was just. What do we think about that? What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about Aaron Rodgers?
That situation scares me. I'm going to be honest with you. The situation scares the crap out of me because I think that Aaron Rodgers is obviously top 5 quarterback. He won MVP for God's sake. He should not be having a game like that, first of all, especially first game of the season. That is not how you want to come out after your MVP season and have a QBR below 40, I think it was. It was bad.
It was
It was a
32.
very, very bad game.
Well, it was like
so yeah,
100 and something yards. I mean, it was bad, certainly.
it was a very, very bad game. So I just think that the whole situation scares me. The fact that Jordan Love came in and threw 5 for 7 and 60 yards and also fumbled it. So that didn't help him. But I think that Green Bay could be stupid here and maybe transfer to Jordan Love a little quicker than everybody expects and get rid of Aaron Rodgers, which would be just crazy to me. But I don't think that's very out of the realm right now, especially if Aaron Rodgers has another game like that.
Jake, you said lack of practice.
Yeah, I mean, he held out every single practice. He's still in preseason, basically. Give him like 3 or 4 weeks.
He's just so obviously not in on the team. He's just
Yeah, that's clear. But
yeah.
you know, Aaron Rodgers, even when he's being the passive aggressive Aaron Rodgers, mid-season he'll turn it on and they'll make the playoffs.
It's certainly terrible for fantasy owners, that's for sure.
Oh,
That
dude.
week one,
Yeah.
that was brutal.
Thank God I did not draft him.
I lost to Jake behind me with Aaron Rodgers scoring, I think, like 4 points for me. Yeah, it was not fun. Josh, below expectations.
I do have this. Well, I do have this graphic that I wanted to pull up real quick. Let's hope I can do this right. Nope. Yep, Dom had it right. So there was this the Bears play calling with Allen Robinson on the field. He didn't run a route longer than 10 yards, really 5 yards, to be honest with you. I mean, he ran like a 7-yard out maybe over there on the right. But you have a top, I'd consider 10 wide receiver, to be honest, but this says top 15 wide receiver. And this is your play calling with him? I mean, he's your number one guy. You're not pushing the ball downfield. You're not doing anything to get a big play and maybe change some momentum. I just think it's a little crazy that maybe it was just their game plan for the week, run it more, because I know Montgomery had a pretty good week running. But I just don't know how I feel about these routes.
I have an explanation for that.
What's that?
Andy Dalton sucks and he can't get him to pass 15 yards.
I was going to point that out too and say that I believe that Justin Fields should be able to start soon-ish, hopefully, because I don't like Andy Dalton that much, but that's just my personal preference. So.
Yeah. I don't mind Andy Dalton, but I do feel like this is just setting up, I think, maybe Justin Fields starts. I don't want to say the coaches are against Andy Dalton, but I don't know. I feel like there's just a vibe that everybody wants Justin Fields to be playing right now, and so maybe this plays into it.
I will say, you look at the bottom of that picture, right? 6 receptions, 35 yards. If you have 6 receptions and 35 yards, that's like running back check down numbers, 6 receptions for a wide receiver and only 35 yards is sad. And that's not his fault. That's obviously not his fault. Look at the play calling, so that sucks, to be honest. And Allen Robinson, year after year, is one of the best catchers in the league. He's a good route runner. And he makes unbelievable catches. This is a potential top 5 running back, I think. He has that potential. But, I mean, he obviously needs better play calling and a better quarterback. And let's remember, this is a guy who, for 2-3 seasons now, has requested off this team. And he's still, bit the bullet and stayed on this team. I mean, he's not a diva about it. Certainly not at all. I have all the respect in the world for this guy because he still goes out and does his job every week, no matter the circumstances and no matter how much he might not want to be there. And how many quarterbacks has been throwing to him in the past 4 seasons?
I think that seriously the sole reason why he is still there right now is because they drafted Fields.
Yeah, probably.
It's the option that at some point this year Fields will start.
Yeah, there's a future for him on this team. Hopefully.
I just want the future to be sooner rather than later, just because I don't think the Andy Dalton's helping him much at this point.
Week 4.
Yeah, at least. I think all Chicago fans think the same. I mean, they were chanting Fields' name in preseason, that whole thing where Justin Fields was like, listen, I hear that and I don't like it. Andy Dalton's the quarterback. Cheer for him. And that's humble. It's cool, but I do kind of agree with Chicago fans on that.
I did really like that, though, from Fields.
I know. You got to love that. Jake, what about you?
Oh, it's got to be. It's easy for me. And if you know me at all, it's going to be predictable what I'm going to say.
What are you going to say?
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of true.
Lamar Jackson.
But I don't know what the expectations for Lamar Jackson is anymore.
Everyone seems to think that his expectation's still MVP.
And there's been so much this week that we've seen slander. I don't know if I would quite go slander or just say factual stuff. I mean, I saw
Factual stuff.
there was 51, something like that, 51 quarterbacks last year threw over a 300-yard game or something like that. And Lamar is not one of them. 51 quarterbacks. 50? That's insane. That 50 quarterbacks.
That I said earlier, right, Dom?
Well, yeah, that's another one.
In 5 starts of Jalen Hurts' career, he has 2 300-yard passing games. Lamar in 32 or whatever it is. 38 has 1.
That's crazy. 38 starts as a starting quarterback where people have high expectations for you and you threw 1 300-yard game in 38 starts. That, I think, speaks volumes. And I think I think there was the blindedness about Lamar Jackson's quarterbacking ability when the team had as much success as they had. I mean, listen, I don't like the whole scrambling quarterback thing where that's the focus and whatnot. I'm not in that mental part of the league yet where that's like the direction of some of the league. But
you need to at least be mobile to some point. But
yeah.
You need to be able to throw the ball. It's the job of a quarterback.
And people were blind to that just because of the amount of success, and I'm okay with that because they were succeeding. But Monday night, he single-handedly lost that game for his team. Those 2 fumbles were at the most costly times, key points in the game where that handed the Raiders opportunities, and the Raiders did a phenomenal job capitalizing on them. But you can't ask too much more of the Ravens on Monday night when that happens. That's on him ultimately. And it's not when he was a quarterback, that's when he was running the ball. He fumbled the ball. And that's tough. I don't know. That's if his strength is running the ball and he's fumbling it and costing his team.
A lot of,
it's brutal.
The people giving him a break because of the Dobbins injury and Rashad Bateman's already hurt. But people the league figured him out last year.
Yeah.
When they were healthy.
It's going to only continue.
What's the excuse?
For me, I just want to point out that I feel like the middle ground of like the mobile quarterback-ish, and is still, I think, an insane runner would be Kyler Murray. And he still puts up crazy numbers passing-wise that
I think
he can still run it if he needs to. You know what I mean? Like I think he's not far off of Lamar's running ability. I think Lamar's faster. I think Kyler's one heck of a runner too, to be honest with you. He's smaller, maybe more agility. But I just think that Kyler Murray also puts up crazy passing numbers some days. He was 21 for 32, almost 300 yards and 4 touchdowns last week. So I think
I really think that Mahomes and Wilson are the way the NFL probably should go.
Yeah, I like that.
They're the type of what a perfect quarterback looks like in today's NFL. You can escape, and you still have a cannon for an arm.
Yeah, extending plays before you actually scramble,
and
that's the biggest thing to me.
Yeah, you're still looking for the pass, not to tuck it and run.
I've been saying this since Lamar played his first 5 games in this league. Is I personally think Lamar Jackson is a quarterback with running back vision, trying to play quarterback, not like running with quarterback vision. I think that's the difference between him and like Kyler Murray and Russell and them is that those are quarterbacks that look to extend the play. They scramble outside of the pocket and look to extend the play and then run. I mean, there's run designed plays, But when do you ever see that for Russell Wilson? There's not run design plays for Russell Wilson ever.
Kyler Murray
Still
definitely
does.
has run design plays for sure, but
Absolutely. And they succeed with that for sure. And that's fine. I have no issue with that. Lamar, whenever you see him, it's like any ounce of pressure, he runs straight.
If the first read
Like a
isn't
running
open,
back.
he takes off.
Yeah, he takes off
Yeah.
out of the pocket, not out the side of the pocket to extend the play. He himself just takes it like a running back. And I think that's the issue is he doesn't have the quarterback vision that quarterback should have. He has the running back vision as a quarterback. And I think that's kind of the issue. And it sucks for the Ravens because there was so much success. And I think the bubble's already bursting for that. So, let's move on from that. Do you guys have any other below expectation stuff?
I wasn't okay. So I was gonna kind of feed mine like the Lamar thing and Kyler Murray thing to a point of I was gonna say maybe the Titans. I was gonna say the Titans are a little unexpected in the way that they underperformed, but I really would rather give the credit to the Cardinals on defense because I feel like especially is that Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay,
Crazy
I get him
game.
confused with I can't remember his name. Anyway, but anyway, yeah, no. So he had obviously 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and so I think it made it hard for them. But that offense, Dom, going into that week, you and I were doing the podcast alone, and you and I were both saying like we don't know how anybody's going to stop that offense. We have no idea how anybody's going to contain a run and a pass game. The DBs were on point. The obviously defensive line was there constantly, and so I think that just surprised me. I don't want to say the Titans underperformed. I would rather say the Cardinals just played phenomenally on defense. Sorry.
I like that because we did say that, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't really take into consideration just pressure on Tannehill 24 every play. That O-line did not play well. If you want to talk below expectation, that O-line is below expectations.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be some of those guys on that O-line is supposed to be Pro Bowl offensive linemen, you know?
Taylor Lewan.
Yeah, that was my other
100%.
going to be
And
disappointment.
he was like, even after the game, he was like, "Thank you, Chandler Jones, for exposing me. It's gonna just push me to do better." Like he was cool about it, you know. But it's like he knew he got it. He was just not good.
Yeah.
So
But that's absolutely for sure. I do think the Cardinals did such a great job, and I don't think the Titans really expected that too much. That's what it's all about week 1, you know. You have no tape to watch really, and Chandler Jones, man, early defensive
week
player.
one.
Yeah,
That's
early
crazy.
defensive player of the year guy. I mean, he's been probably top 5 candidate for defensive player of the year a bunch of times in the past 5 or so seasons, but this is what a start. Those are numbers for top guys at week 6. So, yeah. Now, next thing is, are there any performances? And we're gonna talk about some of the same teams. Are there any performances this week that happened that you think are fluke performances, whether they were good or bad? Teams where you're like, okay, the rest of the season's not gonna go that way, but that's cool for week 1. You know what I mean? And I think we can all agree Green Bay is probably one of those performances where it's fluke of the week. It's definitely Green Bay. I do believe that we all think Green Bay will do better over the course of this season for sure. Jake said it. You know, this is kind of a little bit of Aaron Rodgers preseason, and he was one of 4 starting quarterbacks that didn't start in the preseason. So that is definitely one of them. What about you guys? Any fluke performances?
The Bills.
The Bills.
Mm-hmm.
In which direction, though?
Oh, they're better than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I agree with that.
I'm not as high on the Bills as everyone else in this room is, but
No, I'm not either. I'm not either.
they're at least better than that.
Those are good.
I think the Bills are good, but I don't know about like top
I
team.
also think the Steelers' defense is very,
Yes.
and I have since last year.
Yeah. I see. That's my whole thing. Did I pick the Steelers against the
No,
Bills?
versus Buffalo, I'm pretty
We all
sure.
picked Bills. Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I know on the Sunday show. No, I did pick Pittsburgh against Buffalo last week. Yeah. I did have that exact same thought where it's week 1. I have a feeling that Pittsburgh's defense is going to come out stronger than
Well, they're
Bills
healthy
week
again.
1. And
That
they
was
are
the
healthy.
problem last year is they started off on fire.
Well, 11-0.
I do
7-0.
think
Can't
I
remember.
think that's a good one as fluke for sure. What, Josh? Anything?
pointed out with Jake in the room. I just think the Eagles looked really, really, really good in the first week. They did play the Falcons, so I think that's a little bit of a downside, maybe just something to consider in that amazing performance. I think they're going to do great this season. I think they look great, and I think they should continue it. But I do think there is a chance that we might not be able to see that every single week. You know what I mean? I think the team's very young, especially on offense. I think that Jalen Hurts has a lot of weapons to throw to, and hopefully better weapons than he had last season. But I think that it could – I don't know if I could say fluky, but I just think that they played really, really good on offense and defense, and I don't know if that's going to happen every single week. That's all.
Like, be cautious of your expectations.
Yeah. I wouldn't consider it fluke because I think they can have amazing performances multiple times in the season. But I do think that it's not going to happen every week. They're not a top-tier team, at least, you know. That's all.
Jacob?
I want to go ahead and go with the Texans. I think they perform well. It's against the Jaguars. But I don't know. I feel like – so when I'm thinking about this, and it's not good to compare these teams, but I'm thinking Saints, comparing Saints to Texans here. And I'm saying that the Saints obviously played well. The Texans played well if you look at the numbers. But the Saints, you could sense that they knew what they were doing. The Texans, I don't think there's a lot. I don't want to say they didn't know what they were doing, obviously, but I don't.
They blindly won the game.
Yeah. I mean, that was just. I don't think that the Jaguars. I don't know. I don't trust the Texans at all to do good, obviously, and that was an obvious pick. So, yeah,
I'm okay with that because I do think that Tyrod Taylor really exceeded my expectations. I expected him to be okay, but that was a good performance for sure. And how about Urban Meyer being like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, Urban Meyer pretty much said like, I don't know about this whole NFL thing really. And
he's like contemplating being done.
Hinted at he's just thinking about quitting and not doing it.
I think he said his heart wasn't in it,
Which
is a cool way to
but
say.
Then also, whenever because USC fired their coach. Go ahead.
Josh is a little bit lagged. It's okay.
Yeah.
Continue, Josh.
I was just going to say USC fired their coach, and he did comment on that situation and said he's not interested at all. Like he's not going back to USC. So I mean, I don't know exactly what he's trying to do with both of those comments, to be honest with you. But hopefully he stays because I think it's kind of crazy that he would just quit.
Week after week one. I mean, let's be fair. They played a bad team. That's a little scary.
The worst team in the league. They played the worst team in the league, and they looked terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't play the Lions.
Well, the Lions looked a hell of a lot better than a lot of other teams.
They played a bottom three team. They played a bottom three team.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys had to pick performance of the week, who exceeded it the most for you? Who just had the best performance you think of the week? Player, team, I don't care, whatever you guys want. Who do you think? Jacob?
I'm gonna go ahead and just
Jacob go first.
jump into. Yeah, I'm gonna go first, Josh. Chill. No, I'm gonna give it to Jalen Hurts. I don't know. I was watching the game, and he was just like I said. He was scrambling when he was getting pressured, which was pretty often from what I saw. And so him able to make throws, which is something I saw at OU. But the problem with OU, and he might have even done it on a touchdown pass to a tight end in this game. But he forces throws in the red zone. But he did that at OU a lot. But I do think that he handled himself really well, obviously. I mean, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was 27 for 35. He played a really good game. It's against the Falcons. I understand that. But it's still, I think, impressive to just go out in a game that your team doesn't even know if they're high on you. Yeah, like in on you, you know? So I think he showed that he's a good quarterback. I've even had – I think since he's gone to the league, I just didn't trust him to be an insane quarterback. I didn't expect him to, compete for a starting job for a long time. And so I think that he's shown that he's a lot better than what people might think.
Jake, what about you?
Well, I was going to go with Hurts, but Christian McCaffrey, he had a big day for his first game back from injury.
With no touchdowns.
Yeah, but, I mean, look at the yard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is he had big yards. Like he helped a lot.
I mean, you can't really ask for much. I mean, he's also my comeback player of the year, so that helps.
If I had to pick one, I would choose Derek Carr. Performance of the week. I think he did great. I know I spoke upon it a little bit earlier, but I was really happy with what he did, and that is fantastic for the Raiders. At home, in the first real home game of this new city, this new stadium, in front of fans for the first time, I don't know if you could have asked for much better out of Derek Carr. I mean, he off to a little bit of a slow start that game, but by the end of the game, that was full season, performance right there. That was fantastic. And there was one pass. Well, he got the ball with 37 seconds left. No timeouts. 37 seconds left. No timeouts from his own 20, 25, and he managed to march down the field in 2 plays and 2 spikes and kick a field goal and put it in overtime. His managing of no timeouts in 37 seconds was fantastic. And he had one pass that was a little bit easy, but one pass right into double coverage between 2 guys. Perfect pass. So that was my performance of the week. What about you, Josh?
Real quick before I go, Cashew comments on Twitch, boop, and then says, "You've all been booped. Have a good day." So thank you, Cashew. I think.
Yes.
Thank you for booping us, and I hope you have a great day too. But my performance of the week, I was gonna go easy and go Dak, just because I said before I think he had a crazy game coming back from injury, and I think he performed much better than I thought week 1. But I do think that he's a great quarterback, so I don't want to call that one out. I'm gonna go Teddy B. Playing against my Giants, he looked really freaking good. Completion percentage was great, 264 yards and 2 touchdowns. Against the Giants defense that I would consider maybe a little biased, top half of the league, at least in defense. I don't think they're bottom half. But I just think that he played really well, really efficient. And Melvin Gordon also 11 carries, 100 yards, 2 and a touchdown. So that offense really was clicking on all cylinders in week 1. And I think that Teddy B really led them more than I thought he would, at least. So Teddy B, I think, gets my call out. There was also a play when they were on the goal line. Xavier McKinney was blitzing him. He pretty much just had a hand in his face. He kind of stiff armed him, shoved him away, and then threw it to a guy open the end zone. So great freaking play. Great job, Teddy B. That's all.
I will totally agree with that. I mean, Teddy B, I didn't even think of that. Teddy B, I think, did a great job. I watched some of that game, and just managing situations, he did a phenomenal job. He's now like a veteran guy, and he acts like it and plays like it. So
There were a couple of drives where he just carved the defense up.
yeah.
Like, especially the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half.
Absolutely. I mean, I loved it. All right. Well, that kind of brings us to our next week, week 2. And our picks for week 2. So let's get this show on the road, and let's get the graphic in here. There we go. Thank you, Josh. And
Jacob.
Thursday night, the New York Giants at the Washington football team. What do you guys got? Nice. That was our last one. Thank you, Josh.
Oh, still messing it up. There we go. Get off of that page. Thank you.
We're still new to this program, everyone. So thank you. Josh, what's your pick? This is your team.
Unfortunately, I got to go Washington here. I just think their defense is really good. I don't think the Giants' offense is there yet. I do think there's a chance the Giants can pull it out just because Washington offense I don't think is that crazy. And I do think that maybe if the Giants defense can get a couple stops, critical stops here and there, maybe they can get a W there. But I just think Washington's defense is too good, especially against the Giants' offense right now. And Saquon's questionable. So if Saquon doesn't play, I don't expect much.
Anyone else want to talk about this?
Yeah, the Giants D-line is terrible. It's just, Danny Dimes is going to get sacked 5 times. Like, it's going to be.
He is 4-0 against Washington, by the way.
Is he really?
If you saw his stats,
No
if you saw stats, by the way, against
No
Washington,
fumbles.
he has 0 fumbles, and he's 4-0.
Well, that's going to change.
Every other opponent, he's got like I don't even know what it was, 17 fumbles or something. I'm like, fuck,
Turnovers.
I'm just
I
saying,
will
he's
say, though-
undefeated and no fumbles.
Washington's defense, I do like Washington's defense a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's just, for me, it's Washington. Just hands down.
Yeah.
I need to see more out of the Giants for them to prove me that I
They-
should pick them.
They couldn't defend against Denver without Bradley Chubb.
You mean, well, yeah, defend the
Play
rush.
offense?
They couldn't block anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think, yeah, defend the rush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that O-line is
so bad.
That line's
Still.
You can make a whole podcast episode about the Giants line in the past however many years.
Yeah. That's got to be annoying because like every year you think that you revamp a position.
There are two guards that are out right now with injury, but I don't want to call that out because
So you don't have depth.
it's been bad. So
your bad O-line has no even worse.
No one to fall back on.
correct. Yeah, our bad O line also has a bad depth problem. So
Houston at Cleveland. I mean, yeah,
Cleveland played a great game against Kansas City. I mean,
they
that's
really
a top team.
That is a top team.
Second best in the
Let's be
AFC.
real, Houston.
Jake said Jake threw out second best team in the AFC.
I think they're up there.
I think they're at least top 3 probably.
Easily.
Yeah, I mean this is just a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Cincinnati at Chicago. Me and Jake go Chicago, and see, I thought about making this one of my fluke picks. Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. I thought they were handed a couple things in that game a little bit, and just poor calls or just like situational stuff that I didn't like. And they won the game and whatnot, and Joe Burrow had a good game. But I just don't know if that's what we should expect. And I think Chicago has a great defense, so I think Cincinnati might have a hard time. But yeah, Jake, you want to add to anything?
Also, like that game Chicago had, like they kept it pretty close. Like for as much as everybody has loved the Rams and the idea of Matt Stafford there, like they didn't just get blown out.
Yeah.
So, and to think that like that defense versus the Bengals, who their offensive line is also not that good. I think it's gonna be a rough day. I think it'll be close. It's gonna be a close one. Maybe a field goal or the first tie of the year.
We almost had 2 ties this week, honestly. So, Josh, Jacob, what do you guys think?
go ahead, Jacob.
Okay, so I'm really iffy on this. I think it's either going to be a close Bengals win or it's going to be a Chicago blowout, and because of the defensive line. But I feel really good about how that offense is. Aside from the offensive line, I think Joe Mixon ran the ball great last week. Jamar Chase balled out in his first game as a rookie. Obviously, Joe Burrow's loving him so far, and so I like the Bengals. It just scares me with that Chicago defensive line, and so either the defensive line is going to just handle that offensive line, and that ruins the game for the Bengals, and I think the blowout, or Joe Burrow gets the ball out quick. Joe Mixon somehow. I think Joe Mixon. I don't think he has that big of a game, honestly, just because of that defensive line. But we'll see. But I've got the Bengals by. That's a close game, though. It's close.
My only thing I'm going to add to it is I just think that the Bengals' offense is younger, more exciting, maybe just more fire under them, and the Bears' offense I don't like that much, especially with Andy Dalton at QB. Once they put in Justin Fields, I really think it's a whole new story. But that's really my only thing. I think it's a close game. It's really a 50-50 shot to me, but just go with the Bengals.
I'm taking David Montgomery this week for a lot. I'll tell you that much. I think that's going to be a big part of that Chicago offense. Next game, Rams at Indianapolis. Jake, you went Indianapolis. Let's hear it.
I think their defense last week was almost one of my fluke picks. Like, when do you ever see the linebackers of the Colts get handled like that? Just completely taken out of the game. It's very rare. And also, like, I mean, Quentin Nelson coming back, he's a little iffy. I'm taking my faith in the Colts one more week against a good team, and we'll reevaluate from there.
You know, I actually wasn't that far off from picking the Colts in this game. I just something about it. I'm starting Carson Wentz in fantasy. I think they'll have a decent game, actually.
Also, Wentz just has never ever played well against Seattle.
Yeah,
ever. For whatever reason, that's always his shit game of the year.
What do you guys think? Rams. I know Jacob's all about the Rams.
Okay, listen, here's how I see the Rams. Okay, you have a great defense, a top defense. We all know this. I see the Rams as the Browns. Okay, they are a great team on all sides, both sides of the ball, everywhere on the field. They're great, except they have a better quarterback. And so I think that the Rams that's the top 2 team in the NFC. I think they deep playoff run. And so I don't know. The Colts, I just think the Rams are too good. I don't see them losing more than 3 games this year. I'm big on the Rams, and I think you'll see me pick them for the majority of the season easily.
Yeah, I don't think Jacob's far off in saying that you should be big on the Rams just because of what he said about offensive and defensively. They are crazy on both sides of the ball, and I don't think there's many teams that can compete with them like that. I mean, Browns are great offense, great defense. Maybe call it the Bucks too, great offense, great defense. Besides them, Kansas City, their defense isn't that good. You know what I mean? Their defense is not as elite tier as those other teams. So I think that when you think about that, there's only 3 teams in the league that are amazing on both sides of the ball. Los Angeles is one of them. So I do think that with that, they're going to be a really hard team to beat. And I don't see Indianapolis doing much. I think it's a close game, maybe first half, but second half, Los Angeles should be able to pull away pretty easily.
I think they could get some help in the running game, but other than that, I think they're solid.
Buffalo at Miami. We all went Buffalo. And Jake said it earlier. Last week was a little bit of a fluke. Buffalo's better than that, and they're definitely better than the Dolphins. So, yeah. Do you guys have any input?
No.
I would just say that, yeah, I think Buffalo was fluky last week, and I think that they probably have a fire under them because of that. So going into Miami, I think they're going to take care of business and win pretty handily, hopefully.
Next game, the Patriots at the Jets. Did Will really go Patriots?
He really did, yeah.
Wow. That surprises me. If any time, any season ever, Will was going to pick Jets against Patriots, I feel like this would have been the best season to do so.
Jets at home.
And, yeah, in Jet life, as Will says.
I just want to check the Google Doc. He 100% put in New England. So,
wow. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a landslide of a
I don't think so
victory.
either.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really
Look at
hoping.
Belichick's record quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
I think it's pretty big because of Mac Jones. Mac Jones is, I think, going to have a great season this year. So,
I think so too. I think last week wasn't the best, but wasn't bad. Certainly, it was a 1-point loss. But
In which they fumbled at 5-yard line.
yeah, so certainly, I think the Patriots are going to win. I'm a Patriots fan, so I'm hoping. Next game, San Fran at Philadelphia, and I'm just going to say this before I turn it over to Jake. I wrote Philadelphia in at first, so I was teetering a little bit between the two teams. I really was. But Jake?
Full-blown homer pick. Absolutely full-blown homer pick. Got to show faith on the guys.
It is in Philly.
but
I don't.
If you're a Philly fan, though, after week 1, it's probably I don't consider that much of a homer pick just because they played really well in week 1. I do think 49ers defense will do more damage than the defense played in week 1, but I don't know. I think that's really my deciding factor on why I picked San Francisco is that I don't think the Eagles were fluky, like I said before, but I do think against a great defense like San Fran, I don't think they're going to be as great as they were in week 1. So that's really the main reason I picked San Fran here.
Can we win? Sure. There's some reasons why we can win, but
I will say, I was pretty disappointed in San Francisco's defense against Detroit in one quarter.
I'm a little surprised that I'm the only one.
Yeah, I mean, I did write Philly at first, and then I was like, I teetered back. I teetered back and forth a ton, and then I just went San Fran. But San Fran's defense against Detroit in the matter of just the fourth quarter was atrocious. Like just utterly terrible. And the offense too. I mean, it was just not. It was some of the worst football I've seen played by one team. So that was a little bit scary, and that's definitely what helps the Philly pick for sure. But yeah. Next game, the Raiders at the Steelers. We all picked Steelers except for Josh. Josh, usually it's me or Jake that's higher on the Raiders in some picks, but you went Raiders.
I really like them after what we saw Monday night. I think I watched the highlights and thought they looked like a really good football team. And I just think Pittsburgh, yeah, they got a great defense. I don't know about their offense maybe a little bit. I think with Najee Harris, I hope he helps out more this week than he did last week. But I do think that the Raiders can pull it out. I don't think it's that surprising of a pick. I do see how it could be just because Pittsburgh also should get it done at home, and especially when they have a great defense. But I got the Raiders.
I thought about it. I really did think about it, but Pittsburgh's defense is the real deal. I mean, Ravens defense is supposed to be good, and the Raiders did that. So it's not far-fetched, I don't think. But, Jake, why'd you go Pittsburgh?
Normally this would be a situation where I pick the Raiders.
That's why I'm asking.
Mostly because Pittsburgh always plays a level of competition. So I think that the Raiders on Monday night made them care a little bit more. Even if you follow where I'm going, like the Raiders at least showed something to where they can get hyped up for the game.
Yeah.
Plus, I like the defense, and I also think that Pittsburgh's offense is a lot better than what they showed in Week 1.
I agree. Defense is as advertised, though. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob, you got anything?
Yeah, I got something.
Go for it.
I mean, basically, I think both teams are great, and I think, like you said, the Raiders did really well against Baltimore defense. I think it's a shootout, but I think because Pittsburgh is home, they win by maybe 10 points. But I think it's just home field advantage is going to help them a lot. But I do think both of these teams are good. And the Raiders are much better than what people expected, myself included, obviously.
Wow, this next one surprises me. New Orleans at Carolina. We all picked Carolina except for Will. I thought me picking Carolina. I picked Carolina. I thought in my head I was like, for sure that's like kind of an upset. Like, you know, probably everyone's gonna pick New Orleans. I'm just feeling it for Carolina in this game, you know. But you guys all want Carolina. I want to hear.
I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna stick with it.
What did you say, Jacob?
I said I'm not really sure why I did, but I'm gonna stick with it.
I think
It's a close
Carolina's
game.
defense is. I think Carolina's defense is good. Their linebackers are crazy to me, and I think their offense should be pretty dang good. To be honest with you, I like Carolina. The whole team is a I don't want to say franchise. Whole team is a team. I just think New Orleans, they got a chance against them, and that's I think why I picked them is that they got a fighting chance. Why not pick them?
Yeah, I think the defense is good, like you guys said, and I think Sam Darnold has a good game in this. And the Saints are losing Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, there's all those COVID cases too.
COVID, a lot of COVID.
They might not even play the game.
Oh yeah, all like the offensive coaches have COVID, right? It's like a
Do we get to count that loss against Will?
Yeah, it'll be a loss for the Saints, so it's a loss for Will.
yeah.
Fair enough. Dang.
Yes, sir.
Now for me, like Carolina is that like, you know, every year I have that one irrational team that screws me all year because I like picking them.
That's them.
Last year was the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because I pick them before they're ready.
He's doing that again this year. Looking,
I think Carolina's gonna be that one.
I do want to say too about Will's picks real quick. Whenever I was doing these, I was gonna give him benefit of the doubt and just put him dead middle of the road 8-8. But then I remember he did send me his picks before the games happened.
yeah.
I looked back at them and he was definitely 7-9. So I tried being nice. I was gonna put him dead middle just because I didn't remember his picks. But yeah, 7-9. So that's all.
Next we have Denver at Jacksonville. I mean, yeah, it's Denver all the way, 100%. We all picked Denver. It's just Jacksonville got beat by the worst team in the league. It's whatever. Denver,
Yeah.
100% Denver.
No questions asked.
Yeah, Minnesota at Arizona. We all picked Arizona. I think this is a good game, to be honest. But yeah, it's Arizona. Arizona's too strong of a team, and the defensive performance they put up against.
Great offense in Tennessee.
Yeah, a great offensive. Thank you, Jacob, because I was forgetting who. The great offensive of Tennessee. It's Minnesota's
scary, dude.
O line.
That's really
It's not. Yeah, Minnesota's O line is not as good as Tennessee's, and That was scary. This is going to be scary. I
I've
think,
definitely bought in and going into this season a lot more in Arizona than I did last year. Last year, I was like, you got to prove it to me this year. And just some of the draft picks they had, I like a lot. Like I think they've taken a step, but I don't know. It's gonna be hard for the playoffs because there's so many good teams in that division.
Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Another one. We all picked Tampa Bay.
Just keep it moving.
Yeah, it's just it's a no-brainer, you know. Dallas at the Chargers. Dallas at LA. Jake and Will both picked the Chargers in different colors. Jake, what do you think?
I really like the Chargers. I really like the Chargers.
Yeah.
All year. I think they're going to be one of the ones toward the end of the season that you're looking at. And Dallas's defense still isn't that good. Like Tom Brady, whoever was in the slot, he just picked on whoever that was all game. And I trust Herbert to be able to do that because Herbert's a really good quarterback.
Not Tom Brady.
Plus,
But
Chargers, yeah, he's not Tom Brady, but it's also the Chargers defense is pretty good.
yeah.
So
For me,
Go for
I,
it,
feel like I picked the Cowboys mainly because I like Dak's performance. I do think the Cowboys, and including Micah Parsons, sorry, Jake, were getting roasted and toasted in the secondary. It was not good for them. It was also the greatest quarterback of all time. So I think that does speak volumes for maybe their defense isn't that bad. I think this week is a good test to see because the Chargers offense is up there, top 10 probably in the league. People probably put them higher. But I think that the Cowboys offense, I think it's personally a shootout maybe because the Chargers defense is good. I don't think it's crazy good. I do think it's good, but I think it's a shootout and just Cowboys get it done. I think their offensive is more powerful, to be honest with you.
This is another one I teetered back and forth. I wrote Chargers at first. So, and then I kind of thought I teetered back and forth. And then I was like, all right, okay, you know what? I'm just going to pick Dallas. They had a decent performance against Tampa Bay, who is a decent team. So I think this game really could go either way. I think either team could have a good day and win the game. That might be all it takes. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough. That offense was good. Zeke did nothing, but nothing. We'll see.
Zeke
Wow.
did nothing.
Dallas
Yep.
are checked out of a lot of running plays because he didn't trust him.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. Pollard had some more touches probably than Zeke. It seemed like so. I heard his name way more than Zeke's. Next game, Tennessee at Seattle. Jake and Josh, you guys went Seattle. Why's that?
I think last week was really impressive from Seattle. I mean, also it's early season. Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll before they start to screw it up. So get those early big wins, hype train rolling.
Yeah, I also think that Seattle's got a good thing going there. I think Tennessee does too, but I'm just a little worrisome that maybe they have too much on offense, if that's even possible. I do think Seahawks defense isn't that good, and I think Tennessee shipped out a lot in the offseason too. So I think this, again, could be another shootout that it's really 50-50 shot. Whoever scores, gets the last ball, that's who's going to win this game. So, yeah. Also, can we talk about these backgrounds real quick? So for Chargers, blue and yellow, do you guys like blue or yellow better? Just so I know.
Blue.
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 Yeah, why not?
And Titans, navy or white?
White.
Maybe.
Wow. Jake, you're deciding.
White.
White. All right. We're going white for this. All right, bet. That's all.
I would just like to
Just
tell.
gonna blend into Dallas.
I would just like to tell everyone. Did I go white for Dallas last year? I don't know. I did this picks graphic I did last year. So this is Josh's this is his first kind of crack at it. So
Yeah,
give
This is my debut.
him some leniency on it. So it's okay.
Put him in a bedroom.
It's complicated. I promise you. I went Tennessee in this game. You got to think they have a bounce back game, right? I mean, that's it. That's really what I'm going for here. You got to think they have. That was an ugly performance for a team that me and Jacob spent like 20 minutes talking about. That was an ugly performance.
It's been a long time we did.
You guys really spent that long talking about him?
Not 20.
No,
maybe
we didn't.
5. something.
Probably. You guys love the Titans ever since last year.
I know. But it's.
Josh loved the Titans. I wasn't big. I wasn't like super big on the Titans.
I like the
Josh
Titans.
loved the Titans because he was Titans and mad.
I'm in a franchise, so now I'm big on the Cardinals because that's my franchise now. So big
Yeah.
Cardinals fan now.
No, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Dom. Is like I think last game was a fluke. I don't want to say fluke. I think the Cardinals just looked really good, but I think that Titans do have a bounce back game. Like that's not them, and Seattle doesn't have the defense that the Cardinals have. I think it's a shootout. I think Seattle's still also a great team, at least on offense, and so it's a shootout. But I have Tennessee getting more stops than Seattle.
Next we have Kansas City at Baltimore, and after last week's performance against the Raiders, it's not a surprise that we all picked Kansas City. So yeah, I mean it's. Do we have any more input on that one?
We've seen this before.
Yeah, we have.
Every year there's a big game, Baltimore, Kansas City, and it's Mahomes.
Yeah, I don't think that
That's what I was
it's
about to say.
far fetched that Baltimore wins this game, but Mahomes. Yeah.
If the Raiders depth receivers, I mean, we're talking Zay Jones was like their 6th, 5th receiver. If he can do what they did to the defense,
Like Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback. He's a really good quarterback.
yeah.
But he's not Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Just keep saying
So-
his name. I think the point we'll get through. Patrick Mahomes is your-
There is
Mahomes.
nothing else you have to say. It is Patrick Mahomes, and then there's Kelsey and Hill.
It's true. It's true.
I do want to say real quick about I'm gonna go ahead and intro this next one, the last one. Detroit at Green Bay. If any of you guys pick Detroit, I'm not importing their logo. Okay, I'm not doing it. Detroit should not win a game this season. 0-17. Okay, I'm not playing along.
Green Bay also should score a touchdown in
I'm
every
gonna
single
pick
game.
him every week now.
I'm picking Detroit. That's my main reason. Hopefully, you guys pick Detroit every week now and just put your record down the hole. But yeah, Detroit at Green Bay. It's obvious to me. I don't think it's even a question here.
Here's the big correction on a team that Aaron Rodgers typically destroys.
For me that knows the design of this graphic and designed this graphic, importing all the logos, I know for a fact Josh already has the logo imported, so he just lied to us all.
Don't tell me that.
He's a liar. I know. I've seen it. I know it exists.
Yeah, so that it's Green Bay. Come on, you could same thinking
I
as
was gonna say that actually last week.
yeah, same thinking as the Titans. You know, it's just they got to bounce back, and if you're going to bounce back against one team, it's going to be against Detroit. So
I just can't believe that Aaron Rodgers will have another below 40 QBR in two weeks in a row. That's not going to happen.
Unless
And
he
he's
wants
not
to
going to throw. He's not going to
Yeah.
throw 2 picks in a row. So
here's the thing. There might be the issue, and it's controversial and whatnot, that maybe he didn't care, right? It was against New Orleans. He didn't care, whatever. This is a rivalry game. He has spent the last however many years basically hating Detroit and playing against Detroit and whatnot. I think that he's engaged this game, and I think he does well.
I
also
also see him
think-
hating Detroit because they've always sucked, and so he just,
Detroit.
he just like brushes them off.
Well, he murders Detroit. Whatever.
Yeah.
He'll murder Detroit on Monday night, too. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with his mindset, though, because if you think about it in his perspective, is he trying to further his career and go to a different team after this season? Is he
I don't think
really
he cares.
just
Doesn't matter.
dropping the NFL? You know what I mean? Because
I just no. I don't think he's dropping the NFL. I just don't think he cares about Green Bay.
He
I
just
don't
doesn't
think it
care.
matters. He could play. He could be the worst quarterback in the league this year,
And he'll have a starting position.
and he'll have
next
a
year.
starting position anywhere he wants.
Yep. You better hope the Giants are in on something, Josh. I mean, come on.
I was talking to Jacob about it before. If we get Aaron Rodgers and he's here for maybe 2 years and then he retires,
He wants to
They
go to the
better-
West.
they better not believe Daniel Jones still just staying on the bench behind him is good. Draft somebody, please. So yeah.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it all up for us. Josh, you want to lead us out?
Yeah, you guys know where to follow us by now, hopefully on all the socials. It's been on the bottom of this thing for the last 59 minutes and 20 seconds. So go follow all those social medias. Even go follow our other podcast, Mine and Jacob Talk Show You. We were Jason's popping in, hashtag Cut Jones. But you guys can follow our podcast, Talk Show You. We're going live on Sundays now, maybe Mondays, but should be most of the time on Sundays. And hockey, Dom, anything? Hockey's off season still, right? Surely.
Well, yeah, it's very off season right now. There's
Oh, it's very off season right now. Okay.
But yeah, me and Jake are gonna start that soon again. It's time.
It's time. Bring it all back. So podcasts are pumping out. You guys know where to follow us now. We'll see you guys next week for week 2 rack up, week 2 recap, and week 3 look ahead.